Alright guys, y'all really like the hitters version of this video, so let's come out and let's do the same thing with the pitchers. Let's talk about some pitchers that I think are going a little bit later in drafts that have high floors, so maybe you're not taking them for the overall upside, but you go, you know what? If I just need to guarantee myself some innings pitched, if I need to guarantee myself someone that's not going to be giving up a ridiculous amount of production, these can be some names I'm looking at. But as we did yesterday, I want to give y'all a just reminder, please, do not hold back. If you think I say something stupid, if you don't agree with any part of my analysis, I am not going to be like these other people on YouTube, these other people doing podcasts where you leave a mean comment and they get all butthurt about it. No, that's not me at all. I am going to take those comments and use them to the best of my ability to improve myself, improve the own things that I am saying to y'all. So if you go, Mason, you shouldn't be looking at whip for these 5 reasons. I know that's a dumb example, obviously, but just let me know what I'm doing wrong in your opinion, because maybe there are some other people down there in the comment section that can read your comment and they can go, you know what? I agree with that. Mason's doing this wrong and I can try to improve. But that's it. While y'all are down there, make sure you are dropping a like on the video. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel. And let's get into this video. And our first pitcher that we're going to be talking about is going to be Sonny, who right now is the 23rd pitcher off the board according to average draft position data. And Gray, yes, he is not pitching in rotation. That is great by any means for the Cincinnati Reds. But, I mean, he's coming at a very cheap price. He's the 69th player in that average draft position data, and he's only 31 years old, so you really don't need to be worrying about the age too much. And just like we did with the hitters when we were trying to evaluate what we are going to be expecting from Gray, we can go through and we can look at, okay, what does Fantasy Pros has him projected for 2021? And I want to remind everyone, no, this is not a sponsorship by Fantasy Pros. I have not even talked to them. This is just the fact that I'm not smart enough with fantasy baseball to make my own projections. They offer them for free, so we are going to take advantage and we are going to use what they are providing. And in 2021, they are projecting him to see 166 innings pitched, a 1.26 whip, and 1.13 strikeouts per inning. Now, I don't know if anybody watching this video is new to the channel, but I definitely prefer looking at strikeouts per inning rather than just raw overall strikeouts, because we know that strikeouts per inning are going to be stickier year to year rather than those full season strikeouts. But also, if you're new to the channel, I just want to give you a little bit of a warning here. We really are not going to be looking at the 2020 season. The 2020 season not only was an extremely small sample, but to go along with it, we know that there are so many crazy variables moving week to week, day to day, that I think it's going to be so hard to extract anything of value from that year, that what I'm going to prefer to do with these players is I'm going to prefer to look at their most recent example of a full season played. That way we get a better understanding of what we should be expecting in 2021, where Gray in 2019 was able to accumulate 175 innings pitched at a 1.20 strikeout per inning, so a little bit higher than Fantasy Pros has him projected, and a whip that is all the way down at 1.08. And now I'll say this is a little misleading because if you go through his entire major league career, usually the whip's not going to be down here at 1.08. Usually you're not going to be expecting a number that low. So I think Fantasy Pros, while yes, they're projected him significantly higher up at 1.26, their projection is most likely going to be more accurate on what we can expect this upcoming season rather than the number that we had in 2019. But I think we can look at that and go, okay, hey, there's some upside here. There's maybe not a ton of upside for him to turn into a pitcher that's going to be up there like a Jacob deGrom, racking up 1.5 strikeouts per inning, something ridiculous. But there's upside for him to keep the whip down. There's upside for him to bring value for you. And when you're getting him in the 6th, 7th round of drafts, sometimes as your 3rd, 4th pitchers, I think that makes a ton of sense. All right, so now let's get a player that I know y'all are going to hear his name and you go, what? Mason, I agree, he has a high ceiling, but not a high floor, and I am saying the opposite. Here, we are going to have Steven Strasburg, and yes, I understand. A pitcher who has dealt with injuries pretty much his entire career. I understand he's coming back from carpal tunnel, but he's already pitching in spring training. He's already having reports saying that he's going to be 100% good to go opening day. And he has the ADP of the 26th pitcher off the board, 72 overall. And I really don't see what we are missing here. I don't agree with the Fantasy Pros projections in the slightest, because I understand the argument of someone coming out here and telling me, Mason, Strasburg is going to be at an increased injury risk. Maybe you shouldn't be making this pick because it's a little bit too volatile. Sure, if you want to make that argument, go ahead. I'm not a doctor. I'm assuming you aren't either, so I'm assuming that it's going to be a little bit reckless for you to say that. But what we can safely say is the games that Strasburg is able to go out there and pitch, I mean, his numbers should not necessarily be elite, but elite compared to someone else you're going to be getting in the 7th round of fantasy baseball drafts, where we go through, and right now Fantasy Pros has him projected to pitch 157 innings, 1.1 Ks per inning, and 1.21 for his whip. Now, if we go to his last full season, I mean, in 2019, the whip was down there at like 1.0. The strikeouts per inning were up there at 1.20. And this was on an extremely large sample where he pitched for over 200 complete innings. And this is why I just don't agree with these 2021 projections in the slightest. Like I said, I understand if you want to be a little bit worried about him not getting the innings pitched, him not playing as many games as you would see from other players in this range. But I think on a night-to-night basis, whenever he is hitting the mound, I think that the numbers we should be expecting are extremely safe for the player that you're going to be getting in this range. Because if we look right now at the Fantasy Pros projections for 2021, where they have the whip at 1.21, and we go, okay, let's look throughout his entire decade-long career in the majors, and let's see how many seasons he had a whip that was over 1.21. And let's count them up. Let's tally them. All right, let's get the number out here. Zero seasons with a whip higher than what he's projected to have this next year. And let's go through, and right now they're projecting him to have 1.1 strikeouts per inning. And let's see how many seasons that he has not hit this clip and not has surpassed this clip of 1.1 Ks per inning. All right, let's count them up. Zero years, guys. I think that these numbers are very much on the low side, where if you want to say Mason, he may not be playing as many games. Mason, he may not be seeing the innings pitched. That's fine. But don't be telling me that the efficiency numbers are going to be taking a drastic hit when we really have no reason to believe so. All right, so now our last pitcher that we are going to be bringing up here is going to be Jose Berrios, who right now is going as the 31st pitcher off the board. He has an ADP of 85, and obviously the problem with Berrios right now is the fact that he's not going to be someone giving you strikeouts. I was a little bit hesitant to say that this was a fair number when I initially looked at his projections, where Fantasy Pros has him projected to pitch 182 innings, a 1.25 whip, and 1.02 strikeouts per inning. So this is going to be way lower with the strikeouts than you're going to find in pretty much any other pitcher in this range or higher. And I went, okay, that's an outlier. What is going on behind this? And I didn't fully understand that Berrios really has never been a pitcher that has given you strikeouts, as we go to his last full year in 2019, where he was able to eclipse 200 innings pitched, and we know that's a big deal. But over that very large sample, he only had 0.98 strikeouts per inning. So here I'll say with Berrios, I mean, the innings pitched should be there. His whip is also going to be a little bit lower, hovering around 1.20. But the strikeouts per inning are going to be low, so I'll say that in a roto league, maybe he's someone you look at. In a points league, not going to really bother. But overall, he's a player that has a high floor, just a low ceiling. So he's going to be completely different than Strasburg, where Strasburg, I believe, in the games he plays, in the innings he pitches, he'll have that high floor and high ceiling combination, but you have to be a little bit worried about how many innings he's going to actually pitch. Here with Berrios, it's a little bit of a different situation. Now, thank you guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, go down there, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, if you didn't enjoy it, or maybe you did, I don't care, go down to the comment section and let me know what I'm doing wrong. Let me know what I can improve on, because I want to just improve my overall quality of analysis with fantasy baseball.